back to Duke Rehab to Performance. We're on this continuum here of working pelvic dissociation. One of the things that we want to start with is kind of an exercise you see a lot in rehab and then a lot in just general exercise is a side plank or side bridge. So I'm going to have Garrett demonstrate just a side plank from his knees here. A couple key things in your planks. You really want to make sure you're in a good alignment. So if someone were to look at you from the top, they want to see a nice straight alignment from the ear all the way down to the knee there. He's got great position, keeping his legs at about a 90-degree angle, pressures through the knees here, and then he's got his elbow right underneath his shoulder, keeping that shoulder nice and stable. One of the troubles with this exercise is this pelvic default people tend to get. They let their pelvis go into anterior rotation or posterior rotation. And so one way you can kind of tell that for yourself is if you're doing a side bridge and you feel it in your back, your pelvis probably isn't in the right position. So go ahead and come on up again, Garrett. We want to make sure that he's got that nice pelvic position in here. So his low back really isn't doing a lot. It's more of his obliques here and then those hip abductors on that down leg. Now to progress this further, you see people, they straighten their legs out, get a longer lever here, and it puts a little bit more pressure, it's a little harder on those hip abductors. And then again, another progression you'll see people commonly do is to just elevate that leg. All great progressions, but when we're thinking of our continuum trying to get that pelvic dissociation, right now we have a symmetrical pelvis, so we're really not training that kind of running one hip in flexion, one hip in extension position. So one of the adjustments we like to make with this is we're going to have Garrett bring his leg up to about 90 degrees. We're going to leave this one on the ground for right now. He's going to pop up into that side bridge. Now he's really working those hip abductors on this down leg in a much different position. It's harder in the flexed position. To make this a little bit more challenging is we're going to have him lift that knee up. So now we've really got a ton of pressure on the leg here and then through the shoulder. Same cues go with here. We've got that nice pelvic dissociation. I still don't want him to feel anything in his back. He still has to keep that neutral spine. And I want to see that nice, beautiful angle throughout the whole thing. Now, to make this a little bit more progression, we kind of want to work through the motion. Static positions are great. Dynamic positions trains them a little bit more. So I'm going to have Garrett come on up again. And so from this time, what he's going to do is he's going to actually take his arm. He's going to reach up overhead, really elongating this part, having to stabilize through that hip. So now we have a stable position while we got a segment moving. That makes it a little bit more challenging. And then to progress this a little bit further, I'm going to have him come up. He's going to reach, and he's going to bring that leg over, and then he comes on back. So it's really trying to get that stable leg inflection while other things are moving.